Our closing hymn is number 73, Chant for the Seasons, the verse for spring.
Our call to worship is a responsive reading and is printed on the back of your bulletin. The italics font for your part was lost in translation, as will sometimes happen when you copy and paste things. So, just read the parts that come after what I read. I'll do a paragraph, you do a paragraph. I believe in you, you can do it. True beauty comes from the earth. It is found in flowers and trees and all living things that make this life a rainbow of color.
We too come from the earth. It's the same life that has made plants and creatures, has given birth to us, that we might add to its richness.
Once, we arrogantly believed in our dominion. We thought that nature's bounty was ours to find, use up, and throw away.
Now we know that we must be kind to nature, if nature is to be kind to us, that our task is to protect and preserve, not to waste or destroy.
Once, too, we believed that we could trust only our own kind, that those who looked or spoke differently were natural enemies.
Now we know that the people of this earth are one family. Our life is a common life, and only as we are good to each other are we secure ourselves.
Yet we have difficulty expressing the community we feel. Having so long learned war, it is hard to practice peace.
There is courage needed for friendship, but courage not frightened by strangeness or afraid of being understood.
So we come to each other with gifts, and we say, take this present I have brought you, accept my gift, and accept me as a friend.
Out of our sharing shall we all be made richer, in the giving of flowers
join us in a moment of silent contemplation as we prepare for our time together. Welcome. Thank you. Today's service is our annual flower communion, a Unitarian Universalist tradition created by Norbert and Maja Capek for the Unitarian Church of Czechoslovakia in 1923. Here in 2023, we are celebrating 100 years of the flower communion this year. Yeah. This ceremony immerses us in the symbolism of flowers and reminds us of the importance of connecting with each other in community. Like a big basket of flowers, we are a diverse and beautiful community. The flower communion connects us to Unitarian Universalism's past as the story of Norbert and Maja Capek come to us from a formative time in Unitarianism, World War II. The ceremony connects us to our present as we celebrate the people who are here in community with us today, online and in person, inviting us to really see and appreciate each other. And it connects us to our future, knowing that flowers inevitably bring more life in cycles of pollination, fruit, and seed. When I consider our rich history through this ceremony, my ruminations often drift to the history of another Unitarian Universalist tradition, our chalice lighting. Our chalice has its origins as a symbol of hope and liberation when the Unitarian Service Committee hastily designed it and then stamped it on documents that they were using to help Jewish refugees escape Nazi persecution on the eve of World War II.
Help us to be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth, as without light, nothing flowers. Good morning. I'm Beth. I'm your service leader here at Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. We welcome you, old friends and new ones, online and in person. Whether you are a dandelion or a rose, a buttercup or an orchid, no matter what soil you come from or are planted in, no matter your fragrance, the color of your petals, or the shape of your leaves, your presence is welcome and celebrated in this big bouquet of community. Just as you are welcome here. Please silence those cell phones. Please observe the perfume-free zone, although that iris really is not observing that. For the young'uns, we have activity bags by the welcome table for any of the younger ones who might need something to do during the service. Just make sure to leave them back at the welcome table, if you would please, afterwards. There's also a nursery for ages kindergarten and under, and you can bring your kids down to the nursery at any time. There won't be a story for all ages today because this is a very inclusive and interactive service. We invite our young people to listen to the stories of our past and participate in the sharing of the flowers. We hope you, as we'll ask your parents, to help you with the flower communion part when we get to it, and that you'll think about what sharing flowers means to you. At the first flower communion in Prague, people were asked to bring a flower of their choice, either from their own gardens or from the field or roadside. Each person was asked to place their own flower in the vase to show that it was by their own free will that they joined with this community. As one vase contained a wide variety of flowers, it became a powerful symbol for a diverse and united congregation. We invite each of you to bring your flower to this center basket as a symbol of your free choice to connect to the community gathered here as a member, friend, or very welcome visitor. And if you didn't bring your own flower, you can choose from one of the generously provided extras. And you might take one of those as well and bring it to the vase in the center. And it will represent for you your part of the community. Reverend Tiffany offers the first flower for the many beloved members of this community who are separated from us by distance and circumstance.
These flowers, in their diversity and their beauty, are already sacred, just as they are, just like each of us. And we're going to bless these flowers, knowing that these blessings are going to be taken home by somebody else here. Maybe we know them, maybe we don't, but we're connected to them through this community and through the sharing of these flowers. And so I know we want to bless every single person who's here today. So that's the question, isn't it? How do you want to bless your community? What word might speak to you of the blessing that you want to send to your community here? I invite you to call out a word of blessing for this community. If you do it loud enough that I can hear you, I will repeat it back for the people who might not be able to hear it so well. Gratitude.
Love.
Joy. Love.
Service.
Service. Peace. Caring. Safety. Compassion. Protection. Calm. Trust. Happiness. Hope. Abundance. Health. Acceptance. Visibility. Exploration. Curiosity. Freedom. Enlightenment. I didn't get that one. Sorry. Seeking. Strength. Openness. Truth. Acceptance. Support. Beauty. Community. Wisdom. Forgiveness. Truth. Friendship. Meaning. Understanding. Courage. Connection. Every word you say, this gets more beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the way that we have consecrated these flowers together. We are gardeners of the Spirit, our own and each other's. And our amazing music director is bringing us a song about that. Let's keep this good energy going with the garden song.
A little bit faster all the way down. Okay. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless
someone bless these seeds we sow. We bless each other in the sharing of joys and sorrows and through the lighting of candles. If you'd like to share a joy or a concern in person, please use these candle cards which are located on the back table. And if you'd like to share a joy or a concern from distance, you can email me at minister@hvuuc.org. Today, we take a moment to recognize the upcoming International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia this Wednesday. This day raises awareness of the human rights violations occurring in many countries against LGBTQ+ people, including our own country. To our gay, transgender, and bisexual members and friends, we love you. We're glad you're here, and we will fight for you. We also recognize that this is Mother's Day. We light candles of joy and gratitude for the parents who have raised us well and supported us, and we light candles of sorrow for all who experience grief or complexity on this day. A candle of joy and gratitude to all of our religious education volunteers for this school year. Educating our kids and supporting our families is a monumental task. Last week, 24 volunteers were honored with this work, spanning from nursery to religious education to Our Whole Lives classes. We have 120 members here, meaning that 24 volunteers connected to religious education means that 20% of our membership is invested in religious education here, and I think that's pretty awesome. And we got a special thank you card from the Connecticut youth group that visited us last month. They say, "Thank you so much for inviting us into your building and hosting us recently. We deeply appreciate your hospitality and look forward to reciprocating sometime in the future." That's an idea. Thank you. Also, sending a big thank you to Greg from your congregation who came to the Appalachian Christian Camp one night to teach us contra dancing. They had a lot of fun with that. Warmly from Nate. An email candles card from David Cashton. He had a total hip replacement surgery on Thursday and is recovering without complications. Yesterday, on day 3, he reports that he is stiff and sore, but otherwise doing well. He is prancing around with a walker and should graduate to a walking stick within a week. Gary remains in the hospital, but is expecting to transfer to a rehabilitation facility soon to continue her healing process. And we have a card from Bradley that says, "I have been accepted into a free 3-week seminar in DC, the purpose being to become a better middle school history teacher. Only 36 spots existed, and out of all the teachers who applied in the whole nation, they chose me." Congratulations. A lot to be grateful for today. If you wish to light your own candle, you are welcome to go around and form a line by the window, and Alicia, a member of our caring team, will assist you. If you're on this side of the building, please go around through the back door so you don't pass in front of our camera. And if you wish for us to light a candle for you, you may remain seated and raise your hand until I acknowledge you, and I will light the candle for you at the end. And we light our first candle for you who are not in the building, but are ever in our hearts and minds. Maja Capek was born in 1888 and grew up in Western Bohemia, which is now known to us as the Czech Republic, which at some point between there was known as Czechoslovakia. She immigrated with her family to the United States in 1907 and met her husband Norbert Capek in college. She married him in 1917. Norbert was a Baptist minister, but as time went by, his views on religion and life became more and more liberal, to the point that he had to resign his Baptist ministry in 1919 and began considering Unitarianism. The timing suggests that Maja might have had something to do with it. Norbert, Maja, and their daughter moved back to Czechoslovakia some years later and founded a liberal church there. They saw themselves as Unitarians, even though the American Unitarian Association did not. And in just a few years, their Unitarian church in Prague became the largest Unitarian congregation in the world. In 1923, Norbert introduced the flower communion to the thousands of people who attended the church. He used the symbolism of flowers to celebrate the diversity and beauty of humanity and the importance of loving, reciprocal relationships in religious community. When Nazi forces were about to occupy Czechoslovakia, Maja returned to the United States to raise funds for relief work in her home country. The war kept her from going home, and she began serving North Unitarian Church in New Bedford in 1940 as their minister. Norbert Capek was sent to Dachau and was put to death in October 1942 for speaking against the Nazis. Maja did not learn of her husband's death until 3 years later in 1945. And she continued to work as a Unitarian minister in the United States for many, many years. Maja brought the flower communion to the United States, and I don't think we hear enough about this woman who influenced our movement in such significant ways. Historians have put almost all of their focus on her husband Norbert, but surely we would not know a thing about Norbert without Maja, the mother of the flower communion. We do have a letter from her in 1961 discussing her and Norbert's intent for the flower communion as it was gaining popularity during the time. Here's an excerpt from her letter. The flowers are used as symbols of the gifts which each person can make to the church and through the church to other persons. Because of the large variety, each person is able to express their individuality. The exchange of flowers means that I shall walk without reservation with anyone, regardless of social status or his former religious affiliation, as long as he is ready and willing to go along in the search for truth and service to man. And that's why we celebrate today. In the spirit of truth and service, we also are journeying together. We also celebrate the unique beauty of each person here. What does it mean to you to make the commitment that Maja did, to not get wrapped up in the surface details of human identity and to instead journey together as a community? Look at our bouquet. Here we all are in our vulnerable beauty and diversity. Is there really any better metaphor for what we are doing here than this? Our choice to add the flower to the bouquet says that we are invested in the relationships here and the ways we want to work together. Our choice to receive a flower from our community, which will happen in just a moment, says that we will allow ourselves to be transformed by these relationships and the work we do together. All of it says that we will share with each other, especially because our differences and the amazing ways we learn from each other give us the blessing of different points of view. History marches on, and a lot has changed since Maja and Norbert's Odyssey. But there's so much about us humans that hasn't changed since then, which makes this a timeless ritual 100 years later. Maya's journey of connection brought her across oceans and back again, and it was characterized by great joy and great loss and a deep resilience. She shows us how to make meaning out of our grief, and that it takes courage to keep on offering our gifts and to keep receiving again gifts from others. Our flower ceremony offers us 100 years of seeing the strength of our diversity. It is a promise of a shared commitment to seek truth and justice still. It is an invitation to be seen and cherished for who we are by each other. In a second, Beth is going to invite you to come to this table and know that the love and acceptance that you are seeking waits for you here.
We'll extinguish the chalice with these words. May we find the world to be sometimes so beautiful and life so richly and meaningfully shared that we want this to be true more often for more people everywhere. Thank you very much for being with us today. We have a few spoken word announcements, but you can go to our website at hvuc.org to see all the events and news, or give your contact information to the visiting table if you're new here, and you will receive email updates. We will have a table at this year's Blue Plum Festival in Johnson City, June 2 and 3. We need a few folks to help organize our participation and staff our table at the festival. Oh, fun. There will be a Zoom planning session this week. Please contact Social Justice Chair, that's SJ Chair at hvuc.org, or see Bob Warner. Wave to us, Bob. There's Bob. We are having a collection for the Smile Foster Closet running May 14th through June 4th in honor of Foster Care Awareness Month. A box is in the foyer each Sunday through June 4th. You can see the posting online for ideas of what is needed, and there's a special need for teen girl hair products like hairbrushes, bands, and scrunchies, but most everything is appreciated. The Atheist Group is meeting tomorrow, Monday 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. off-site. Please email atheist@hvuc.org for more information, or see Tiffany after the service, and she will direct you to who to talk to today in person. And speaking of in person, we do have coffee hour. So please be sure and join us. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Peggy. And coffee hour will be back in that direction after the service.
I'm so glad we could share flowers today. If someone you know isn't here today and you think they'd like a flower, if you forgot to get something for Mom today, please come up and get some of the extra flowers, whether they're from the basket or the extras. Take them, bring them home, spread that love far and wide. I hope I get to see you next Sunday, where I'll be preaching a sermon called More Ethical Than God. Often in ancient mythologies, we have stories of deities behaving badly, and this can have large implications for those of us who are trying to live ethical lives. which I hope is all of us. So come visit, see what that's all about. As our time here comes to a close, I invite you to hold your flower in your hand and see how beautiful and precious and temporary it is. I'm going to get my flower. Let all else fall away as you pay attention to the contours and the scent of the flower in your hand. Hold this beauty in your mind and in your heart, and know that this moment will never come again. The fleeting nature of this gift adds to its value rather than detracts from it. And so it is with each of us and the blessings of all who are gathered here in community. Flowers unfold slowly and gently, bit by bit, in sunshine. A soul, too, must never be pushed or driven, but unfolds in its own perfect timing to reveal its true wonder and beauty. Our work is to be gardeners of the souls wherever we are. Everywhere seeds are beginning to germinate, let us tend them with the greatest care. They are very tender and delicate. Let us water them with love. Our closing hymn is number 1052 in the Teal hymnal, The Oneness of Everything. Today has been a celebration of our connections, and this hymn looks below the surface to the ways that we are truly one. As we sing our closing hymn, we'll pass the offering plate, which means between book and flower and plate, you might want to put your flowers in your seat. These donations of the offering are what fund everything we do here. So we thank you so much for your support. Please rise with us in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1052.